Everybody, appreciate you being here. Obviously, just you coming off the game, last Saturday. First, I do want to thank every Florida State fan that traveled over to Ireland to make that trip, to be there to support us. I mean, it was an incredible turnout. It was obviously a great atmosphere. We have just such a special fan base, and I'm sick that we didn't give you a better outcome. Obviously it's extremely disappointing, but I am so very grateful for every one of our Florida State faithful that made that trip, and it was really remarkable just to see that support. Coming off the game, you're getting a chance to get back. Obviously it's a big trip. There's a lot of different elements that go into it. I'm grateful for all of our operations. Everybody that served a part of that, making that trip happen. I mean, it's a lot of moving pieces, and I thought it went as smooth as could be. I was glad to get everybody back here. Obviously we had practice last night. Adjusting to our game week. Yesterday was a Sunday for us. Today is a Monday, and then we'll continue to progress as we go. But going back and looking at the game, like I said, I mean it's sickening that we came up short in that game, and obviously I take total responsibility and ownership for that. And I think that you go back and see the game. Obviously it's my job to have the team prepared to go and play to the best of our ability, and I don't believe that was our best. And you could sit there and you look at a lot of different factors. Lacked when you look at offensively, we really lacked the explosive play showing up. We had a couple big runs, couple of decent passes, but we just missed that explosive play. We only had 7 possessions in the game, which really you got to make every play count. And obviously both teams had 7 possessions, so there wasn't a whole. It was definitely a unique game. I was proud of our guys. We were able to own the ball offensively. I think we scored on 4 of the 7 drives, but a couple of those drives had to settle for field goals. We had the 4th down where we didn't convert, and then we just had a few missed opportunities. I thought it was a pretty clean game in a sense of not hurting ourselves, but obviously there were some things that we left out there. They did a good job in some of the things schematically of trying to add safeties. We had some misassignments in regards to how we were trying to account for those guys. But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for us to grow and build. And I was really proud of the guys offensively. In that 4th quarter when we needed a touchdown to be able to put together that drive, and I thought DJ did a great job. The receivers answered the call. Being able to find a way to finish in the end zone was big, and ultimately, I mean, I've got to do a better job of getting the ball to our playmakers, and making sure that we're giving those opportunities, and still being able to maintain the balance that we have or that we desire. But I thought that was something coming out of the game that I definitely. It's something that we all get to work and be better at, but something that specifically for myself, I mean, I got to make sure that when we come out of the game that that we've been able to take advantage of those opportunities. And flipping over to the defensive side of the ball, obviously it was a game that they were able to establish everything on the run, and it was unfortunate that we were not able to create more explosives defensively. We had the one opportunity where the ball was on the ground that we got to find a way to create that takeaway with that opportunity that showed up. Obviously they were able to do a lot of different things in the run game. They did a good job of their shifts, their motions, trying to keep us off balance, forcing communication, and I thought their front did a good job of neutralizing our defensive front, which we've got to have more production out of that group. I mean, it is one of the best groups on this team, and those guys, they for a lot of different reasons. I mean, that's something that we're going to continue to work and build, and Joe, I think this one of the things I've been pleased with since the game is just the ownership of coaches, players, everybody involved, of understanding how much we have to continue to pour into each other. And you take ownership of actions, you take ownership of what showed up, and now it's about going to work and getting better. And I think when you look at defensively, we continue to push and challenge, that forcing unit, whether it's D-line, linebackers, safeties, corners, whenever it's forced. We got to make sure that our fits are tight, that we do a better job of tackling in space. I thought we had too many missed tackles in space when guys got on the perimeter. They had 15, design quarterback runs, which when that happens, I mean, it takes everybody. And you gotta, obviously this week we're gonna play another running quarterback, and so it's gonna take all hats. And if you're forced into the fit, we got to make sure we're on point and being in position, playing with our eyes, running through tackles and making sure that we're getting guys on the ground. But we had, like I said, we had too many missed tackles, there in space. And ultimately, I mean, we just we got to be better in forcing and stopping and stopping a team. When they obviously are attempting to run the ball, whether it's with the quarterback, running backs, speed motions, whatever that might be, we just have to be better. I've got a lot of confidence in our group. There's still some things, being our first game, you get a chance to continue to evaluate personnel and what are those best units. I think there's some opportunities for growth there for us as well, and just who, when, where guys are playing, and that's something that being in game one, obviously it's sometimes you have to work through that, and but we will definitely be better in that regards, and make sure we're putting guys in the best positions to achieve success. And special teams wise, I was really proud of Ryan. I mean, and Ryan in that field goal unit to have two of the long field goals. One was a career long for him, and it was just you see the confidence he has. You did a great job in his kickoffs. I thought our coverage unit was good in the opportunity we had. Really didn't. We're limited. I think there's only 21 total special team snaps, so really limited in that. But saw some good things, and obviously some areas we got to work to get better. But I'm excited I'm excited and grateful for the opportunity to go respond. And this is. Everybody's disappointed in coming up short, and that game came down to one play. And when you sit there and you look at it, I mean, you could take 30 plays in that game, and at any one of those have a different outcome. I mean, you're probably in a lot better mood right now than what we're in. So, but how you respond to it, what you do. I mean, nobody ever wants to find yourself in this situation, but I believe in the character of the team. I believe in in this coaching staff. I believe in the talent and ability that we have, but we got to go play better. And it starts with me, and it's my job to make sure that in all things that we're doing, that come Monday night, that our best football shows up. And that last week, there's a lot of different logistical things that we worked through, and obviously I don't know when our next game of traveling abroad would ever be, but it's you look at all the things. I mean, why did some things show up the way they did, and obviously we're going to learn and work and get better from it. But I thought our guys did a really good job in practice yesterday. There's definitely the right edge that we need, and just for this week, and obviously we're playing a Boston College team that's kicking off their season, new coach, new coaching staff, some very talented players, very dynamic quarterback, some experienced guys defensively that have been through it and done it, and we know that obviously they're coming in ready to kick off their season, and for us it's all about us going to get better. And that's I want to see us play our best game, and we got to have our best week of preparation to be able to have a chance to do that.
All right, first question will be Brendan over here on your left.
When discussing the forcing unit and needing it to be better, like, is it physicality, is it eye discipline? I guess what aspects are you looking to improve?
There was, I mean, you can sit there and you go through the course of an entire game. We gave up, I think it was 3 really explosive runs, and I think you see a little bit of all in that. There was a play where we might have had a missed assignment, thinking something else was coming rather than staying the course of the job and responsibility. And if you have just a little bit of extra space in there, you let a guy be able to make something happen. with that. I think our eye discipline, making sure that our communication's on point, making sure that our fits are tight, and that we're running through and being able to make tackles there in open spaces. And I think there was some times where there was some hesitation that showed up, and obviously that's I know as we talked, I guess it was a week ago or before the first game, you sit there and like, what is the concern going into the game? I believe in the talent and the ability, but in the moment of truth, when you're out there, do you trust your discipline? Do you trust your details? And then are you able to go put that on display? And I think and that's not just for new players. It's also older and experienced players that in that moment you got to trust the things that you train yourself to do. And whether it's an open field tackle, it's those fundamentals and do you rely on that in that moment? If it's your block destruction, if it's how you're fitting the gap, how 11 guys are playing as one, there defensively. I mean, it's so critical. And I think those are things that you have to grow from, you have to learn from, but you also see the importance of it when you come out of the game, and when those things are the things that hurt you. I mean, it's just the sense of urgency to get that fixed and to be better. It has to be done.
We'll stay here for Chris.
How do you counter a game having such a slow tempo, limited quantity of possessions? And in that game on Saturday, did you try to do anything in the moment that just didn't work?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fewest possessions I've ever been a part of in a game, and it was really both sides. I mean, obviously, they were able to to extend drives. They're offensively. I mean, we got to be better on third down defense, getting off the field. Some of those things are a part of it. But on the flip side of it, we were very we were methodical with our drives offensively, and we had multiple drives of 8, 9, 10 plus plays. And that's we need to see those explosive plays show up. And we did take our shots. We did have some opportunities. Some of them didn't play out the way necessarily that we wanted. But those were a part of the plan. And we just when you miss out on some of those explosive opportunities, I mean, and you have these longer drives, I mean, it does shorten the game. And so it like I said, it's the importance of every play, making sure that you can execute, make sure that obviously we tried to mix a few things up, and just what we were doing. But like I said, I got to make sure I do a better job of as we roll through, putting our guys in the best position to achieve success, and we're going to do that.
All right, we'll go third row on your right for Matt.
Did you expect there to be so many few possessions in the game, like on both sides? And how big of a part did the helmet communication kind of play in that? Like, how did that change things?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely plays a role. I didn't expect there to be that few. I mean, I think we had one possession, if I remember correctly, one possession in the fourth quarter, maybe one possession in the. It was only three. It was 3 possessions in the second half, which is obviously very unique to have. We only had 4 there, in the first half. So I mean, you don't expect to be that few, but I mean, it's something that plays out in the course of the game. I'm sure that was a big part of their plan of what they wanted to do, and obviously as it all kind of played out, it played out pretty good for what they were trying to accomplish. But the helmet communication, it was good. In the second half, they said that their helmet communication went down, and so we actually weren't using it there in the part of the second half because of the official came over and told me that it went out, and then even whenever we tried to use it, it wasn't in full operation there later in the game. So I mean, that was all part of it, but I mean, it's just that's part, and that's just the game. And so it's different factors and elements that you work through, and but it was definitely unique to only have 14 total possessions in a game.
All right, we'll go to the front row on your right for Kurt.
You talked about, I guess, finding the balance on offense, finding the explosiveness. The first half and the passing game, how all the running backs were, I think the only real shot downfield was negated by the pass interference. Was that what you thought was going to be effective? Was that trying to help DJ settle in? Were there shots he maybe didn't take? What do you think was going to happen?
It was part of our plan, because we felt like we'd have a chance to get leverage, get in space, let guys have a chance to go make plays. Some of it was just reads, being able to take something quick. But I thought it was thought it was a good start to it. I thought DJ, settled in, was able to get the ball, out and spread around. And, like I said, I mean, you look at the the first half. I mean, we were able to move the ball on every drive. Unfortunately, we had they made their corner made a great play. Great call on their part on the fourth down that we came up short. But we were able to move the ball. We just, unfortunately, we got to make sure we finish those drives with touchdowns. And that was something that you obviously worked to build off of. But we did have a couple of opportunities that didn't go the way we wanted. But it was all kind of part of our plan.
We'll go back to Jordan on the left.
Coach, you mentioned it a little bit already, but what has the mood of the team been like the last few days traveling around Ireland on Sunday? And then were there any leaders that stepped up after the loss or during the last couple of days?
Yeah, I was obviously one of the things that staying there the day after. We got up pretty early there on Sunday. We had a team meeting. We met offensively, defensively. Went through the film. You had a chance to watch the game. I mean, it was nobody was in a good mood. I mean, but also with us going over there and playing a game, it was probably over 90% of our team was the first time ever outside the country, and I didn't want to just go there and miss an opportunity for them to have an educational experience. And they did get to go and see some of the town. Guys got a chance to get that experience. And but I am grateful for this team's mindset. Like I said, the ownership of it. It's being a part of a team. I mean, you pour so much into so few opportunities, and but there's guys that even directly right after the game, some of our best players. I mean, obviously, us as coaches, when you're willing to take ownership of action, and then obviously the commitment to do everything that you can to go get better and to fix the areas of mistakes, and to understand the importance of the smallest things, whether it's play calls, whether it's what you're doing, whether it's a technique, a fundamental. We all have a job and responsibility to each other, and so I think our guys have had the right mindset in what we need to do. They're still all in front of us, and we got to go and just get better. I'm not worried about anything else beyond that. I'm not worried about anything that we can't control right now, other than going out there and putting our best foot forward. Here today, being prepared for our Tuesday practice tomorrow, and obviously as we'll build throughout the course of the week. But that's what I desire, and I think I've got a football team that understands that, and definitely showed it last night in their approach.
We'll go back to Matt, third row on your right.
Do you think some guys during the game were tentative or kind of afraid to make mistakes?
I think it's one of the things, when you have some newcomers, guys that are in different different roles or different opportunities, that there's that's where you talk about you got to trust your training. You got to be able to trust the things that you've done and prepared. Do I think there's some guys that played hesitant at moments? Yes, and that's where you got to be able to work through that. And at the end of the day, it's as a coach, you try to do all the things that you can do to prepare them for that moment, and how you train, what you do, and making sure that guys are going to play fast, through that. There's some guys that were a little bit limited, there throughout the course of camp, and that were available for the game, and you got opportunities, and there was it was a mixed bag of results in some of those things that we saw. And so obviously we got to do a good job as coaches of making sure that identify and to make adjustments as we need throughout the course of a game. But I think that's as guys are getting out there, you get guys having to play as one, and we've got to make sure that we step on that field, there's no hesitation, and obviously guys going to cut it loose and being the best they can be.
All right, we'll stay on the right side for Liam in the second row.
Hey Coach, you mentioned it earlier, but with Boston College having a new coaching staff, and is it difficult to get a read on them heading into the game, especially when you faced them last year in a shootout? Does it change anything for you guys?
No, I mean, we obviously got a lot of respect for the guys that they have, for the players that they have. I mean, obviously, Coach O'Brien and his staff, I mean, they're very, obviously extensive and very successful coaching career Obviously with him, your Coach Lewis, the defensive coordinator. I mean, this is a team that's going to be, you're very well coached. I mean, they're going to be tough, they're going to be physical, they're going to be able to attack you in a variety of different ways, offensively and defensively, as well as in special teams. And so, but in all reality, we're looking at everything, and I mean, from anything you can imagine, in preparation of what we might see, and obviously there's going to be things that they're going to be able to take from week one and probably try to utilize here for them, and we gotta stay focused on ourselves and be able to adapt and adjust to whatever shows up.
All right, we'll go to Bob on the front row.
Coach, curious about two guys on offense. Jalen Lucas, I think he was only in for maybe 7 or so snaps. Is there an expanded role for him? And then also Hakeem Williams, I know y'all announced he wasn't going to be able to play against Georgia Tech. What's his kind of status and timeline moving forward?
Yeah, we'll see. You'll see how Hakeem progresses through this week. We're hopeful that he'll be available, but obviously that's going to be something that's going to have to see throughout the course of the week. He is progressing. Sean Murphy was another player that was out last week. Linebacker. He's missed a better part of camp. And we're hopeful that, don't know if it'll be this week, but hopefully here in the next couple of weeks. And then Jalen, he's the guy that is an explosive playmaker for us, and he's one of those guys that like I said, coming out of the game, the fact that he was limited in touches. I got to do a better job, and obviously. Sometimes there's a variety of different ways of how the ball gets to somebody, but that's a guy that we need to be able to make an impact, and so he'll continue to work, he'll continue to do the things that he needs to do to be better and to continue to be ready for those opportunities. But he's obviously he's done a good job throughout fall camp, and it's unfortunate I wasn't able to get him to be a bigger part of that game throughout there on Saturday.
All right, next will be Aslan in the back right.
You mentioned the game plan with DJ was to spread the ball around, I guess, if you stretch the defense horizontally. That last drive, though, when you made those throws downfield, did that open anything up in your head about how you can use them, and maybe gives you guys more space to run the ball if you can stretch both vertically?
Yeah, no, I mean, it didn't go into the game not wanting to stretch the ball horizontally or vertically either. I mean, there was. We called our shots, and there's some, a couple looks where, obviously different dynamics. We checked out of a couple based off the look that we were getting, but we also, there was opportunities that we did, and you tried to push. More confidence left, less confidence. I mean, I woke up on Sunday confident. I was. Going into Saturday, I was confident. I know the guys that I coach, and there's sometimes different elements of a game plan of what you want to do and how you want to try to get guys in space, and that's what we went into it with, and just unfortunate that connecting and being able to have some of those vertical plays down the field didn't show up for us in week one, and we'll continue to work and be better and try to capitalize on those, and it's going to be something we do each and every week.
All right, we'll come back to Jordan on your left.
Coach, you only really used 6 offensive linemen on Saturday. Was that part of the plan? And also, how do you think Coach Petita did filling in for Coach Atkins?
I thought that the communication went really well. I think we used 7 guys. Rob and TJ both played. Throughout the course of the game. Continuing to work through, and I think we got guys that have experience. I think there were some really good things that showed up, and there was as you go back and you watch the film, it's just so how fine it can be. Just with having to have guys all together. And it's not just obviously offensive line. It's tight ends, running backs. Everybody being on the same page, and just the finest of details where we had a couple of those runs that were extremely close to being what you're looking for, and the explosive plays that could be created. But I thought Gabe did a great job just in his communication with the guys on the sideline. Obviously with all the things that we're doing within the staff, and then we're going to continue to build upon that. Throughout these next couple of weeks, but I thought he did a really good job working with those guys.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We'll go to Chris in the front row.
I have 2 questions, but they have to do with one another. How much was footing an issue there, and how much does that play into setting the edge, containing a quarterback like Haynes King, who's obviously very elusive?
I mean, both sides had to deal with the same thing, and there's both sides, there's times of guys slipping, and, that's all part of it. Every surface is gonna be unique to itself, but, there are a few times that we, lost our footing and allowed them to get to the edge, which, it's just, we got to be better, I don't think it was a huge part of it, but it definitely shows up, and, those are things that sometimes you can and can't control, but obviously we gotta make sure we're doing everything in our power to have an edge, defensively, and then, obviously, whether it's an offensive, or defensive side, make sure we're, staying on our feet and have an opportunity to make a play.
Alright, last one will be Matt on your right.
So last week you said going into the first game, you have like the biggest menu of things you could see. Does that still apply this week with Boston College having not played yet? And how different do you expect them to be with Bill O'Brien now being the head coach?
No, I mean, it's, for the first 2 weeks, we're gonna have a huge menu of things that we could potentially see. And, obviously, you've gotta prepare for all things. And, we'll have our thoughts of what we might see, but, you gotta be able to adapt and react to what shows up. And, that's a part of it when you play in week 0, and, your first opponent's playing their first game, especially with a brand new staff. So, it's a very, talented staff with some talented players to be able to work with. So, we're excited for the week of preparation, and doing everything to put our guys in the best position to go have success this week.
Alright, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys. Have a good night.